Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here again at Dogecoin, double checking a couple of key factors. And I want to get kind of open with this here, just to kind of preface you. There is a rising wedge pattern here forming, not necessarily a great sign. Until we break below this ascending trend line, we are just fine. Don't worry about it don't overthink it, but we do break down here. We perform a bearish backtest here, maybe close at that 16-cent mark or lower. We could see the price continue further down. So just keep in mind that is a possibility here. Play out these kind of charts or patterns, they don't necessarily always play out, but they increase the odds of likelihood, right? It's like generally it's 60% or greater for any type of pattern. So we just got to be mindful that is a real thing. And let's take a look at liquidation levels first. And just so you know, if you're new to the channel, I love to teach people to trade. I hope you can learn something today. CryptoCache.tech is a site, link down below if you want to become a better trader. And of course, I've got a Trading Academy community and signals group. Do me a favor, hit the like button before we get started here. Absolutely appreciate that. Thank you very much. So let's take a quick look here at the current liquidation. Well, a lot of liquidation has been swept to that 16-cent mark already. That last wick down just kind of destroyed a lot of accounts. Again, these are high leverage trades generally getting swept because low leverage people are way down here at 15 cents or lower. Okay, that's generally what we do as a community when we trade. We try not to over leverage or go crazy. We essentially do. I use 5x leverage on average for altcoins and 10x for Bitcoin. That's my rule. That's what I do. Stick with it. Use the same amount in every single trade. You get used to the wins and the losses. You understand, how it feels. It shouldn't feel terrible for you to take a loss. It'll feel terrible if you're not using proper risk tolerance, though. That's the difference. Anyways, what I want to get at here is there is a lot of liquidation at this 15-cent mark, specifically, not a lot to the upside. So it does imply the price action could continue to progress upwards based on that sentiment. Now, that's not exactly a reason or a complementing factor, but Bitcoin does kind of look, like right now the comparison to Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin is not looking good. In other words, Bitcoin dominance is going up and the price of Bitcoin is going down. That's bad for altcoins. So we could very well see one more retracement as low as 15 cents. That's a possibility. Do you short just to that level because it's a liquidation level? No. You just want to recognize that that's a heavy concentration. We do zoom out here to this is roughly since April 13th. This is that godforsaken day for Bitcoin. To make it easy, we can see the point of control since then is about 15.2 cents. So a lot of people are feeling that 15.2 cents is a good average price here. That's the most amount of buying pressure, so to speak. So that's point of control, implying that that's a support range. Okay, so that's good news. That's consolation. I like consolation. While it doesn't help in trading or necessarily do too much, it makes a lot of people feel better. So I like to throw that out there. Again, emotions don't matter. You shouldn't feel any way when you're taking a trade. You should just feel like it's a normal business transaction. That's really what it boils down to. You treat this like a business, folks, you're going to get those kind of results. Okay, so here's a reason why this rising wedge pattern may not play out. Okay, because again, oftentimes it'll come up and then break down. It could still break down. It may already have if you consider that wick down. But we've got 3 moving averages hanging out right there below the price action. It's a pretty solid amount of support. We can also see here on the RSI, while it's not perfect, we're getting close to 50, generally a support level 2. We also see money flow index is generally higher than that, and stochastic swinging down with MACD trying to diverge. So none of this stuff has truly happened yet, so it's not a bad situation at all. Okay, so while it does seem likely even still at this point the price action could pull back, it's not. This isn't dire straits just yet. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the 4-hour time frame and recognize where we're at here too. We are smack dab below and above all moving averages. So we're above the 100 and 200, below the 20 and the 50. That's just kind of a neutral response. There's nothing really exciting there. We can see money flow index is low, RSI is under 50, generally unfavorable. Stochastic is swinging up, but it's having difficulty crossing this level here. We can see somewhat of a tentative resistance level here. We'll just go ahead and put that on the charts to pay attention to that later. And of course, we can go ahead and see MACD's still diverging. So there's generally unfavorable scenarios here on the 4-hour time frame, letting us know the shift in momentum has occurred and that we're tentatively bearish. Again, on the 4-hour time frame, daily time frame is neutral to positive, right? So having said all that, we look at the hourly now. We can confirm that we're officially below the cloud here. Okay, that's not a great sign. It's been below the cloud for a little while though. Lagging span is free and clear. The price action, conversion line, and the baseline are intersecting. So when I see this, it's kind of a bit of a mess, and you can probably see it already. Like how pretty is that, right? That's not pretty at all. That really basically just tells us that we've got a lot of conflicting factors, and there's no real reason to take a trade. I'm leaning more towards a short position being more successful, though. Just to be honest with you, the daily time frame while it looks okay, we're losing that momentum. And the same thing here as well with the 4-hour and the hourly. They generally lean a little bit more towards the bearish side of things. But again, they're not definitive in any other direction. So do you take a trade with confidence when you see that? No, I don't. I personally don't. And I'll get the question a lot, hey, why aren't you taking any short positions? What's going on? Well, it's because I have a few hundred traders underneath me. That's one thing. I got to be responsible. Shorts are inherently less responsible. They carry more risk. That's what I'm getting at. Furthermore, too, I tend to lean more towards long positions just because this is still a bullish type of market. We haven't broken bearish. Bitcoin's still looking very decent on the macro, and there's no reason to kind of get too crazy with shorts. While we have a lot of these knee-jerk reactions from altcoins, it's not worth kind of buying into and getting too crazy with. That's just me personally. Again, everyone has different strategies, different things. And I would say generally per month we average, I would say 25% of our profit is somewhere in the range of some short positions. But generally the short positions are secured quickly and in smaller groups than like really long-term holds. In other words, shorts are exactly that. They're short term, if you will, and a long position. Hypothetically, you can hold them for longer because they're safer. All right. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. I would say hold off on a trade on this coin here. What we are looking for confirmation's sake, just to clarify, is a closure above the cloud, preferably above this descending trend line. Now, this is not the cleanest trend line, okay, but it's still a trend line nonetheless, kind of letting us know that we haven't been able to cross that plane. So, me personally, getting above the clouds, step 1. Step 2 would be closing above this descending trend, and step 3 would be to close over 50 on the RSI on the 4-hour, which is still a long ways away. So that kind of explains it there. Rising wedge could very well play out. Keep in mind we have more propensity to break down now, just slightly larger probability. So if you're going to short, just make sure you use tight targets and don't get too crazy with leverage. I hope that makes sense. I described that. Thank you again so much for watching. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor, jump on over to our Twitter, Telegram, Discord, join us. I do post playout charts exclusively for every single trade that I either take or trades that I analyze. I have YouTube and TikTok shorts now. Those are also available on Twitter if you prefer. I post those here too. So it's just a lot of fun. You have a good time, and it's definitely something worth checking out. So thanks again for the awesome feedback. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.